Good evening everyone and welcome to Gundam News. And if my voice sounds a bit off today, don't worry, I haven't been replaced by a Daban version. I've just been sick this week. Nothing too bad, but my voice is now screwed up a little bit. So we're kicking off this video with a new P Bandai kit from Gundam Seed Astray Princess of the Sky. The high-grade Cosmic Era Load Astray Omega. And no, I did not say that wrong. When we have a look at the teaser image, it literally says Load Astray. However, I'm fairly certain that this is simply a case of wrongly romanizing the name, because this thing was of course called the Lord Astray Omega in the SD Gundam G Generation Cross Race video game. A name that makes much more sense if you ask me. As for how a mix-up like this could have happened, Load, Lord, and even Road are all written the same in Japanese. So, confusing names aside, the Road Astray is a pretty unique looking thing with a very distinctive color scheme. In terms of accessories then, it doesn't come with a lot, but the thing that it does come with is a very versatile weapon, the Road Sword, or of course, the Load Sword, or the Lord Sword, if you will. You can have it either as a giant two-handed double-bladed sword, two separate swords that can then transform into like a meat cleaver-esque shape, and there's also a whip in there somewhere. And then finally, the Lord Astray also comes with a sheet of marking stickers to reproduce the personal emblems and paintings on this machine. Pre-orders started on the 17th, and for 2,640 yen, a little over 25 US, the Load Astray can be yours in April. And to go along with that thing, Bandai also reissued the real grade Gundam Astray gold frame Amatsu Hana. Pre-orders also started on the 17th, and it is also slated for an April release, or in this case, a re-release. To paint that beautiful golden frame then, you can get the two new Gundam Marker X pens that will be releasing also in April, white gold and yellow gold. And then the second really cool announcement is the Gundam Park Fukuoka that will open in April, of course, alongside the life-sized new Gundam. And with its three main facilities, it looks like this Gundam Park is going to have a little bit for everyone. Of course, the first facility is the shopping area, Gundam Side F. Here you will not just be able to buy a variety of limited edition Gunpla, but there's also going to be exhibitions and even a space to build your Gunpla in a really cool sci-fi setting that's designed to make you feel like you're part of the Gundam world itself. And the limited edition kits they've confirmed so far are a real grade for 4,950 yen, 45 US, an entry grade for 1,430 yen, a little under 15 US, and a BB Senshi for 1,650 yen, 15 US. And, well, there's just not too much I can say about them. We've only got the one image each, and I think it is fair to assume that these are just going to be recolors of the regular versions, but now with that special fin funnel instead of the normal 6 or so fin funnels that it has. And then, of course, also a special slide of marking stickers. The second facility, then, is something that I definitely wasn't expecting. A sports entertainment area, Versus Park with G. So apparently Versus Park is like a popular brand of sports facilities in Japan, and they're now collaborating with Gundam. A healthy otaku mind in a healthy body. And the third facility is the amusement area Namco. And you know where this is going to go. Gachapons, crane games, and arcade games like Bonds of the Battlefield 2, and even a Gundam Park Limited Taiko no Tatsujin machine. That's the drum game for people who don't immediately recognize that name. So yeah, definitely sounds like it's going to be a really fun place to go to. And I also wonder if we're going to see more of these if it catches on. Because remember, that's kind of how the Gundam Cafe started as well. Let's try one of these crazy things, see if it works, and then we're just going to plant them all over Japan. And then unfortunately, human malware happened. Anyways, with the Lunar New Year coming up, Kunio Okawara has designed another Zodiac Gundam in the theme of the new year, this time the Tiger. Something you can immediately tell by looking at the thing. The entire torso is a tiger head, the V-fin has a little tiger on it, the feet have claws, and the beam sabers are made to look like a tiger's tail. And it even looks like the Gundam has a tail in and of itself, which looks like some kind of beam rifle. And we've also got some UC Engage news. To celebrate 1 million downloads, they're handing out a bunch of login rewards. There's an event gacha featuring the Hyakushiki and Quattro Vegeta. There's a new battle rush to get a special J-Gun, diamonds and more. And story mode quests will temporarily give double drops. As for the things you could get this week then, on the 17th, the second lineup of the ever-popular Gundam Artifact series was released. For 495 yen a pop, a little under 5 US, you could either get the full armor Gundam Jim Thunderbolt version, Dom Tropen, the always bulky Zaku 3, or the V2 Assault Buster Gundam, of course alongside a piece of soda-flavored gum. And not only are they a highly detailed little thing, but they've also been redesigned to have a more industrial feel about them. So I am definitely looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with the third lineup, because I have no doubt with how popular the first and second lineup have been that we're going to see a third, a fourth, and so on. And of course, I also look forward to seeing which machines they're going to pick for them. Also, the pale yellow color is of course chosen to be reminiscent of resin kits, but if you're lucky, you can get a transparent moss green super rare version too. And then on the 20th, 2 SDW Heroes kits were shipped out. The Liu Bei Unicorn Gundam Final Battle version for 770 yen, 7 US, and the Soten Taisei Goku Impulse Gundam Tohsen Shobutsu for 880 yen, 8 US. And then for some more building, you could get the high-grade Gundam Unit 4 and Unit 5 clear color version from the Gundam base. They were both released on the 15th for 2,475 yen each, a little over 20 US. Something that could have been more interesting in terms of clear color then was the Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Internal Structure Strike Gundam, which unfortunately sounds more interesting than it actually is. When I first read the title and saw like the thumbnail in small, I thought it was going to have like an inner frame or some inner detailing that we could then see thanks to that clear armor. But no, it literally is just a clear version, making the internal structure of the title marketing jargon at best, or a straight up lie at worst. And these two strikes have been available at Japanese arcades starting the 18th. As for some reading material then, there was the big comic Superior featuring Gundam Thunderbolt, and the weekly Mobile Suit Bible featuring the dual Gundam with its Assault Shroud armor. In other news then, a while back I reported on how Odawara City was going to start issuing Gundam-themed license plates. And well, as of today, at the moment of recording, this plan has become a reality. So if you plan on visiting Odawara Castle this year, be sure to keep your eyes open and you might just see a scooter buzzing by with a Gundam-themed license plate. And with that, it is already time to have a look at this week's Gundam apparel. From Strict G, we're getting a pretty cool collaboration with Bring, a clothing brand that is focusing on making stuff out of recycled items a pretty good fit, considering that part of Gundam's message is about saving the environment, or, dropping asteroids on the planet to save the environment. So for 6,380 yen, 60 US, you can get a t-shirt in either white with Gundam fighting, navy with the white base navy leaving Jaburo, or black with side 7. For 15,180 yen, then around 140 US, you can get a hoodie in either gray with a Gundam on standby, the Gundam on standby, green with a normal Zaku, or black with Char saluting. And then finally for 3,850 yen, 35 US, you can get an eco bag in the same colors and designs as the t-shirts. All of these items are available starting the 15th, and in the spirit of the purpose of these clothes, by bringing in your old clothes, you can get a 1,000 yen discount on a purchase above 10,000. Granted that even with the $10 discount on a $100 purchase, I'd still say that they're quite expensive. Fortunately, the Bankore items are much more reasonably priced. Last week Friday, pre-orders opened on their Gundam Seed cut-in design items lineup, featuring really cool, video game-esque cut-ins of the Freedom, the Justice, the Calamity, the Raider, the Forbidden, and of course their corresponding pilots. You can get these awesome designs on either a t-shirt for 3,850 yen, 35 US, or a hoodie for 8,250 yen, 75 US. Almost half the price of the recycled items. Their second lineup this week then went up for pre-order on Wednesday, the Mobile Suit Motif Zip-Up Hoodie Collection. For 8,250 yen each, around 75 US, you can get one with either an RX-78-2, Char Zaku 2, regular Zaku 2, God Gundam, Master Gundam, or Exia Gundam motif. And as the name indicates, these hoodies will try to make you feel like the mobile suit itself. So just like Setsuna, you can try to actually become a Gundam. On the front it has the name, on the left sleeve it has either the faction or the personal emblem, on the back it has the backpack, and on the hood it's either got a V-fin for the Gundams, a mono eye for the regular Zaku, and a mono eye with commander antenna for Char's custom Zaku. And finally, on Thursday, today at the moment of recording, their Gigi Andalusia collection went up for pre-orders. And we do not just get the usual things, like a long sleeve t-shirt for 4,950 yen, 45 US, and a zip-up hoodie for 8,250 yen, 75 US, but we're also getting replica earrings for 22,000 yen, around 190 US. All of these Bankore items are slated for a February release, by the way. Over at the Gundam Cafe then, as you're probably aware of by now, they've been reissuing some of their most famous Gundam Cafe goods in commemoration of more than a decade of continued service. And the staff of Gundam.info also wrote a column about some of these reproduced items. However, by having a closer look at the Sleggar Burger that they wrote about, I came to a horrible conclusion. That is not a Sleggar Burger. That is just any plain old hamburger thrown onto a plate with some fries. The real Sleggar Burger had a different bun with his insignia burnt into it and was served in a basket. I'm also 99% certain that it didn't have tomato on it, but that's besides the point. Seriously, there's only one thing I can say about this.
Outrageous!
Moving on to the polls then. Because the 31st of January is Beloved Wife Day in Japan, Gundam.info wants to know who comes to mind when hearing "my beloved wife." The results might shock you if you've never seen Gundam. With 364 votes so far, Dozle has more than twice the votes of everyone else combined. And since his last moments were dedicated to making sure that his wife could escape Solomon, I think it's hard to argue that anyone else should be in the lead. But that didn't stop Bright from at least putting up a reasonably good fight with 119 votes. Definitely one of the more famous Gundam dads too. And then they kind of ran into a problem with their own poll, I feel, because the two runner-ups are Oliver from Victory Gundam and Hayato from the OG Gundam and, well, Zeta and Double Zeta. Yes, both of them are dads, but I wouldn't necessarily say that it defined their character as it did with Dozle or Bright. Like, I feel like they probably shouldn't have restricted this poll to the Universal Century, so they could have had some better dads in there, like, you know, Sei's dad from Build Fighters. And thinking about it, did I specify that the poll was for UC only? Where did I put that? So to clarify, the poll consists only of Universal Century dads for some reason. But as always, I will have the link to vote down below. And then finally, we've got the results of what we thought was the most exciting Gundam-related thing that happened in 2021. And the results are almost as decisive as the currently ongoing poll, with the only close calls happening in the lower ranks. 1.2% went to Gundam Build Real, 1.5% to the Gundam channel reaching 1 million subscribers, 2.1% to the SD Gundam World Heroes anime, 2.4% to their collaboration with Meiji Almond Chocolate, and I'm still convinced that most of the people who voted for this voted for the limited edition Gunpla, which did look really cool. And then my favorite, the full-scale Freedom Gundam with only 2.9%. Of course, it ranks lower because why would the Japanese fans care about freedom in China? But I still find it hilarious that a super expensive, life-sized Gundam statue barely beat a cheap collaboration with a famous chocolate brand. And it is then beaten out by a really cool, but unfortunately way too short anime that managed to garner 3.8%. And that is, of course, Gundam Breaker Badlog. In fourth place, then, we get some Gundam age love, because 6.2% thought that the most exciting thing that happened in 2021 was the 10th anniversary of Gundam Age. Now, while 6.2 might not sound like a lot, I still think that's a pretty big deal when you look at some of the heavy hitters that we get on the podium. In third place, we have the third Reconquista in G movie with a strong 12.4%, which the author then kinda downplays by saying that most people who voted for this were probably just happy that they could go to the movie theaters again. And then in second place, we have the announcement that the Gundam Seed movie isn't dead, alongside the whole Project Ignited stuff. And considering the continued popularity of Gundam Seed, I am not surprised that the movie is still happening and that just that announcement managed to score so high. Sure, 22.3% might not even be half of Hathaway's Flash 45.2%, but you gotta keep in mind that Hathaway's Flash is, to put it lightly, monumental. So yeah, it's really no surprise that they won by a landslide. And that has been all for this week's Gundam news. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great evening, and I'll see you all next week with more Gundam news.